Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and welcome to Bookmas Day 11. This is our second holiday reading vlog of the season. We have another reading holiday books for a week, and I do say if you saw my last one, you know how much of a flop that has been so far, and I have only just recently gotten a decent holiday read. I tried to switch it up, throw in a little thriller, a little dark romance there, but I think I need to stick to tried and true because there's nothing like a hallmarky, cutesy, sweetsy, like maybe a little magical holiday romance. So I still have 4 books left on the holiday TBR to work through, but I'm also in the middle of reading or listening to A Christmas Carol, so I'll update you on that if I finish it this week. But the 3 that are left physically that I own are Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, The Merriest Misters by Timothy Janowski, and Flopping in a Winter Wonderland by Jason June. And then the other book that I would like to get to is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace, and she just announced her new release for next year, which is going to be an F1 racing romance, so I'm excited to catch up on my Hannah Grace reading. I'm not quite sure which one I want to get to first, because I know Good Spirits is available to read on Kindle Unlimited, and it's the one that everyone this holiday season has been hyping up. But I just feel like I'm in the queer romance mood after reading Set the Record Straight, so The Merriest Misters could be on that list. But yeah, I am currently doing filming and editing for Bookmas, and amongst other things, so it's going to be a little bit before I get to any reading tonight, so I will update y'all when I finally choose what our first holiday read for this book, or for this vlog, is going to be. It's 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the, it's 5:30 in the evening, and I decided to start Flopping in a Winter Wonderland by Jason June. Obviously, I told you that this is one of my favorite authors. Now, I will always say this. His books are pitched as YA. I don't know that I would recommend them so much to YA audience, unless that YA falls on the 18+ side, just because there is definitely more explicit, spicier content in them, and you can see it off the gate in this story. But in this story, we're following Chris and Aaron. Both of them are not looking for a real relationship, both for 2 different reasons. Aaron is not looking for a real relationship because he just doesn't believe in romantic relationships. He likes to be alone. He's always the problem solver. He's the one people go to remind them why they don't want to be in relationships. And then we have Chris, who's not looking for a real relationship, but there's this little contest on the island of Winter Wonderland, the year-round Christmas festivities where he belongs on, that whoever can get the first tourist to say I love you to one of the townies, the natives, then the daughter of the owner of the big Christmas island will invite them back for a week-long stay, or, for a week-long stay in a cushy Manhattan estate, in her cushy Manhattan apartment where her father lives. And Chris is trying his best to get over there to meet Mr. Kris Kringle, because he's trying to go to bat for his uncle, who tried so hard to be the first openly gay Santa, but due to the board's policies, they just sort of turned him down, and he's hoping to appeal to the better sides of the elderly Kris Kringle. And that's where we are right now. So far, she's been funny, she's been cute. I will say there have been a few moments like, ooh, but it is a Jason June book. I do have to set aside that there will be some campy, possibly cringy moments, and that's just that. But now I'm going to set aside time to actually eat dinner, and I'm going to watch some HGTV. I don't know if I'll continue reading this night or if I'll pick up a book on Kindle, but that's where we stand right now. It is Tuesday afternoon, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been editing videos all day. I'm now on page 50 of Flopping in Winter Wonderland, my bookmark. She's having a moment here. I can't say much more has changed since we last, discussed the book, other than it did list on the description of the book that the main reason that Aaron is going to Winter Wonderland is because he is trying to cheer up his brother after his brother's big, heartbreak, and we have had the heartbreak scene. I feel so bad for, Aaron, because, he has very much so been parentified from a young age. He's had to step into the role of taking care of things, even though, he was the little sibling, just because after his mother left, his father and brother shut down, and, he had to, hold it together. He's a very much so a bah humbug people pleaser, and then Chris out here, just, no one around him seems to understand, what the meaning of having a queer Santa or an openly queer Santa would mean to him, and they just don't understand like how representation works and how good that is, and it's just But also last night I started like my before bed book slash, reading in the dark on my Kindle book, and that is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. So this is her first holiday romance, and we're following Clara and Jack. Clara is the daughter of this big toy company CEO, and she is vying for her big dream job. She's been working her way up the ladder. Despite being a Nepo baby, she has worked her way from the bottom to the top, and after a brief stint where she was put somewhere else, she's coming back to her role only to realize that the big charity thing that she did that helped small business has been gone awry when one of the terrible toy makers that she doesn't like has stolen design from a small town doll maker. And so now it is her job to go and clean up the mess of these, greedy old men. And she's also pretty sure that the dream job that she's been waiting for weeks is probably going to go to her, mischievous younger brother. And then we have Jack, who is the creator of this doll that was stolen, and after the town gossip or like town champion has gone online and posted about this, he's had an influx of orders that he can't fulfill, as well as a huge camera crew being stuck in his face constant 24/7, but no one is actually coming to the town to support the town, and these two have met up at a town bar. Unbeknownst to each other, they're basically about to be each other's number one enemy. But they had a pretty good night. They almost kissed, but we're only like 10% of the book. So I can't wait to see the conflict of the story actually come through and them starting to learn a little bit about each other. I do fear this is going to go down the route of, girly with big corporate dreams and lots of money is going to give up her dream life for a man in a small town who makes jack shit. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Hannah Grace is usually good about giving us a nice emotionally developed story, and she doesn't do third act breakups. So I'm hoping this follows suit. But it's like, even though I'm only 10% through, like, I read for like 30 to 45 minutes, and I felt like I was like flying through. It was just like reading very easy. So I feels like this one is going to be like a good bingeable holiday romance. So I'll update y'all when I have any more concrete information to say. I have finished Flopping in a Winter Wonderland by Jason June, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I guess you could say the spice is fake black, but these characters don't shy away from talking about, I guess, normal bodily functions, so do keep that in mind. But this one, it was interesting, because, like, two things stood out to me. One is that, like, the whole dramatic irony of, like, we know Chris is in fact using him, or the whole relation starts out because Chris wants to get a mainlander to tell him I love him so he can win this trip to New York, so he can accomplish his plan of meeting with Kris Kringle himself and, getting the first gay Santa. So there's that. So the entire time you're like, you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. Waiting for the shoe to drop. I will confirm there is a happy ending. Jason June doesn't necessarily give out happy endings all the time, so I was worried about that. Second, as someone who worked at Walt Disney World, there were just too many things in here that were being spoken about that I'm like when when Chris took Aaron to the backstage area, which was the elves only area, I'm like, well, I'm being thrown back to moments and times, and how everyone is tasked with being in character and how nothing can be named what it is in order to keep the magic alive, and me thinking about all of the code words we had to use makes me wonder. I'm like, Jason, you familiar with some things? With some things that I don't know about? I don't know. But she was cute. She was sweet. However, it's been brought to my attention that season 2 of Percy Jackson has dropped today. So I do believe that is what I'm watching next. I don't know if I talked to you about this, but I did watch The Princess Switch. That was my holiday movie that we've gotten through so far. 4 stars. Still my favorite. Unlike A Christmas Prince, where I think the movies got better in my opinion, I need to continue on, but I'm pretty sure The Princess Switch, the movies get a little bit worse in my opinion. But you know what? It's a give and take with these holiday Hallmark-esque romance movies. So yeah, I also did, if I didn't mention it in my last video, because I don't think I did, I watched that Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, which takes place in the time period between, the couple time periods between Belle and Beast, Beast saving Belle from the wolves, and then the big dance number with her in the yellow dress. Don't know if it was necessary. Don't know that it made me feel anything different about the Beauty and the Beast franchise. Other than, I guess, it made me recognize that Beauty and the Beast is more of a winter tale. So, yeah. I gave that one like 3 stars. Honestly, it could be more like 2.5 if you really think about it. But the OG Beauty and the Beast, love that. This one, maybe not so much. Not so much. But I fill y'all in if I get any further into any other books. So it's late Friday evening, like almost 11 o'clock. And to be frank, I have read a total of 1 singular chapter the last 2 days, just due to the fact that I've just been basically doing mostly chores and errands the past few days, and like it's just been not much of a reading time. I've watched a lot today. Aristor docuseries, Aristor the Final Era, Heated Rivalry, and then plus I've been spending most of the day cleaning, so, you know, all the things. I also spent most of it crying because of Taylor Swift, which, what is new? What is new? So I don't know if I'm going to hop back into reading too much tonight. I would like to get maybe at least an hour done before I go to bed. But yeah, just frankly, with all the things I've been doing the past few days, I just haven't been in the reader mood. So, my goal is to probably continue Holiday Ever After, just because I put my Kindle on the charge, and I think she should be ready to go for a late night reading session for me. So that's the goal. Will I maybe watch just more TV shows or Vlogmas videos? I don't know. But also, update, obviously I'm not going to be doing a full video, full 25 days or 25 movies, but I did watch Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, and I started Twice Upon a Christmas yesterday. No shocker to anyone, those are like 4.5 stars for me. They're some of my favorite Christmas movies, and they're relatively quick, so... But I feel like most people have seen those anyways. But I will update y'all probably tomorrow morning when I have something else to say. However, tomorrow morning is also my brother's birthday. So, have I wrapped his present yet? Nope. But if you're curious as to what he's getting for his birthday, he asked for The Strength of the Few by James Islington. So this is what he'll be getting. At first I didn't realize that these edges were technically sprayed, but I guess it does match the original special edition that I got him. But these sprayed edges looks like they're very light taupe, which mimics regular paper color very well. So yeah, I'll update y'all if I have more, I'll update y'all when I have more to say. It is Saturday afternoon. We're getting ready to leave for my brother's birthday dinner. I'm just gonna say, last night I took a new medication for my asthma, and she worked well in that all the... this is my probably seeing I feel like all of the stuff that was getting caught in my chest decided to come up. So I spent most of the night being sick, so no reading was done, and then I spent most of the day sleeping. So yeah, I think I have decided, as we are going into the end of the year, and these are the last 2 days of the holiday reading vlogs, I will just be spending this Saturday and Sunday mostly chilling and, you know, relaxing. I might watch a little bit of YouTube or TV in some capacity, but I kind of want a brain break in general. So reading is the goal right now, but I am being called upon. So I am officially on chapter 17, page 88, in the Merriest Misters. We have the Santa Claus retelling, and it is here. It is marriage and trouble, so we're kind of seeing the bits of the cracks in the foundation that are forming between Patrick and Quinn. Patrick is a workaholic who strives for validation in his work and everything, and all he's ever wanted in life is approval, whereas Quinn has kind of the same thing. He's constantly doing everything to make his husband love him, or make it seem like his husband wants to be with him, and do everything to avoid the fate that his parents fell upon, even if that means putting his needs and wants aside. And the communication is not the great on both sides. But one night when they accidentally knock out Santa Claus and he decides to quit, now Patrick has to take up the mantle of Santa Claus, and in doing so they must do a year-long trial run of whether or not they want to be Santa Claus for the long haul or not. So this ought to be interesting. The marriage and trouble is there. We're also getting flashback scenes of their relationship developing, the cutesy ones, as well as the developing in some of the issues that started early on in their relationship. So I'm excited to see where it takes us, but I need to apparently head out. It is Sunday afternoon, and I have finished The Merriest Misters by Timothy Janowski. This was such a sweet, heartwarming read. Not at all spicy. I find it funny that one of the spiciest reads I've read this year was by him, and one of the most fade to black, like not so spicy reads that I've read this year is also by him. So he's got range. He's got range. This book was so cute. It was heartwarming. It was sweet. I think I've said this before. Second Chance is not my favorite, and while this is this is Marriage in Trouble, I feel like Second Chance and Marriage in Trouble kind of go hand in hand from what I've read, this being my first Marriage in Trouble. So yeah, so that's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. And I think, you know, getting the flashbacks of how their relationship formed and everything was very sweet, and I enjoyed those moments. I think it's just kind of like with a Second Chance and stuff like that, you have the problem of missing out on some of that on-page relationship development. Not saying that like Second Chance can ever be one of my favorite reads or 5-star read. I think I gave Rewind It Back this year a 5 stars, and it was a Second Chance. But for me, this one was just like a good solid 4 stars. I would venture to say there was some spicy talk in there, but I would say it's more fade to black, maybe leaning towards that 0.5 on the spice range. So if you're looking for like a queer, the Santa Claus, Marriage in Trouble-esque book, this one might be for you. So now I'm still at the beginning of Holiday Ever After and in the middle of A Christmas Carol. I will try and wrap up both of them before the day's up, but there's a good chance I'm only going to wrap up one before I end up finishing this video, because after today, I think I'm going to ease into a end of the year lull of like, I'm still going to finish up Bookmas, but like, you know, trying just to pick up whatever like pleases me, I guess, or whatever calls my name. Because I think I have left my most anticipated Christmas read till the end, which is Good Spirits by B.K. Borson, which you will not see in this video, but you'll probably see in my wrap-up or in a little shorts or reel coming to you soon. So I'll let you know when I finish up another book, or you'll see the next clip will be me closing out this vlog. It is actually Tuesday morning, not Monday morning, when I should have ended this vlog, but I was having technical difficulties yesterday, hence why Bookmas Day 6 probably won't see the light of day, or it will get refilmed for a January video. But I actually have read some other books since Sunday night has ended, and they are holiday books, but I'm not going to mention them in this video because the vlog technically ended on Sunday night. So yeah, I did finish off A Christmas Carol. I don't rate classics because I don't see how one rates classics. They're classics for a reason, but I did enjoy it. The audio narrator did make it seem like I was stuck in 1800s England with the accent, and apparently Dickens had a little more humor than I was aware of. But yeah, and in terms of Holiday Ever After, I got to like 25% in that book. Still, it is reading like classic, cozy holiday rom-com. Not much more to say on that. I haven't finished it, but I do now have a physical copy that's on my shelves. However, I'm about to film my bookshelf tour, so I'm not touching them right now. But yeah, this reading vlog was much better than the last one because I actually enjoyed some of the books, and the holiday book that I'm currently reading that you'll hear about sometime soon in a wrap-up is actually quite amazing. But yeah, plus this one ended up being like the gayest. It ended up being a very gay vlog. Yeah, that's how it turned out. But sometimes that's how it is. It really is interesting to me, like how last year I was just raking in the 5-star holiday reads. And then this year it's been like pulling teeth to find a 5-star read. I think I'm reading one right now. We'll withhold judgment until I finish it. But let me know what you were reading this holiday season. I know you'll be seeing this on Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas Eve, and I will see y'all in the next one.